Exhausted and alone, a Russian soldier fell asleep in the middle of an open field. As the drone approached, he awoke and reached out, trying to catch it with his bare hands. On a narrow dirt path, a Russian soldier moved in reverse, step by step, never turning his back. He held a rifle, eyes locked upward, as if expecting something to descend. A drone crept closer from above. In a sudden burst of panic, the soldier hurled his weapon toward the sky. The drone didn't flinch. It only moved in closer. Across an open field, a Russian soldier moved quickly, his pace uneven, eyes scanning the sky. Something had him on edge. Moments later, a drone exploded nearby, sending him to the ground. Wounded, he lay motionless in the grass. Seconds passed. Then came another drone, lower, quieter, more deliberate. It didn't hesitate. What the first strike started, the second one finished. A lone Russian soldier stopped suddenly, turning in circles with his rifle raised toward the sky. Above him, a drone moved fast, circling just out of reach. Each shot missed. The longer it hovered, the more his focus broke. Fatigue replaced aim. When he finally lowered his weapon, the drone descended, ending the encounter in quiet inevitability. After a firefight left him as the last man standing, a lone Wagner PMC soldier was spotted by a Ukrainian drone, but this time there was no strike. Instead, the drone hovered, then moved slowly toward Ukrainian lines. He followed. In a war shaped by machines, even surrender can come from above. A Russian soldier rode his motorcycle through a ruined district, unaware of the drone trailing just meters behind. It closed in and made contact. Moments later, another drone took flight, headed toward a collapsed bridge. But halfway there, it banked sharply and reversed course. It had spotted something else. A soldier, resting beneath a tree beside a one-wheeled field stretcher. Startled, he circled the trunk in panic, trying to evade. In desperation, he hurled his rifle toward the approaching drone. It didn't change direction. A reconnaissance FPV drone spotted a group of Russian soldiers unloading heavy weapons and missile warheads from a truck. The munitions were carried and stacked beneath a large tree, away from the road. Moments later, an attack drone locked onto the location. It approached slowly, confirming the target. Then, without hesitation, it closed in, successfully destroying the entire weapons cache in a single, calculated strike. Four Russian soldiers moved through a ruined residential area when a drone appeared overhead. Panic spread instantly. They scattered, pressing flat against the walls, pretending to be lifeless. But the drone adjusted its path and struck the center of their formation. In the Toretsk area of Donetsk, a Russian soldier approached a tree seeking shade. He sat down to rest. Moments later, a drone released a small charge nearby. Startled, he reached into his vest and pulled out a grenade, ready to throw. But in panic, it slipped from his grasp. Then, silence. Panic and poor weapon discipline remain greater threats to soldiers than enemy technology itself. A reconnaissance drone monitored two Russian soldiers as they moved across a damaged bridge. An FPV drone was launched shortly after. When they reached the center and sat down to rest, the drone began its approach. As the lead soldier leaned forward, the drone accelerated. One strike, two targets. The explosion ended all movement on that bridge. Trapped beneath collapsed debris, a Russian soldier remained motionless, unable to escape. The drone spotted the stillness from above. It slowed, confirmed the target, then descended. In the heat of midday, a lone Russian soldier was spotted retreating across a dusty road. Exhausted, he collapsed face down into the grass. The drone adjusted its altitude. Then it locked on. There was only a final pause, one last breath, before the strike completed what fatigue had already begun. Across an open field, a Russian soldier lay resting in the tall grass. A drone hovered silently above. Then, a small device dropped, precise and final. Stillness returned to the field. Resting beneath a tree, a Russian soldier closed his eyes for just a moment. Then, the sound of a drone cut through the stillness. He jumped to his feet, raising the butt of his rifle in defense, but the machine had already chosen its path. Not far away, another soldier, still asleep in the grass, was silently neutralized before he ever woke. A reconnaissance FPV drone spotted a lone Russian soldier collapsing onto a patch of green vegetation, exhausted from retreat. He muttered something under his breath, his lips moving like in quiet prayer, his hand traced from forehead to chest, as if seeking protection. For a moment, nothing happened. Then two drones appeared on the horizon, moving in silence. The first missed its mark. The second did not. Whatever he prayed for, the battlefield had already answered. In the Donetsk sector, a Russian supply truck idles in an open clearing, while Ukrainian FPV teams observe from above. A drone closes the distance and strikes the vehicle with precise timing, forcing nearby troops to scatter and leaving the scene silent. Moments later, two soldiers attempt to reach the site on an all-terrain vehicle, but are intercepted on the road by another FPV unit. The soldiers managed to jump from the vehicle just in time. For a moment, it seemed like escape, but another drone was already approaching. Their approach stopped before they can intervene. A few minutes after that, two more ATVs rush in to reinforce. The lead vehicle is halted mid-route by a calculated strike. And the second hesitates, advances, and is engaged moments later. Every attempt at reinforcement is stopped before it reaches the front. Layered FPV coverage isolates logistics and neutralizes reinforcements before they can influence the fight. In the Toretsk sector of Donetsk, a Russian FPV drone swept low over Ukrainian troops. With just a few rounds from light weapons, it was brought down. Minutes later, a quadcopter-style FPV drone passed overhead, neutralized just as quickly. Then came a third, a Molnia model. It too was shot down within seconds. Three separate threats, three fast reactions. No panic, just precise response under pressure. In this zone, Ukrainian soldiers had learned that even with limited firepower, control of the sky was still possible, if they stayed alert. Near Kapivka in Donetsk region, Ukrainian forces opened fire toward Russian positions inside a forest line. After targeting visible troops near the edge, they advanced deeper. Within minutes, a defensive trench was cleared. Two Russian soldiers found inside were neutralized during the breach. Several others were wounded in the exchange. A number of enemy combatants were taken into custody. The forest, once concealed behind gunfire and trees, now lay exposed, controlled by Ukrainian boots on the ground. In modern warfare, it's no longer just about firepower. It's about timing, precision, and control of the unseen. If this perspective gave you a deeper look into how the battlefield is evolving, consider subscribing. We'll keep watching from above. One frame, one decision, one drone at a time.